In the previous video, we saw what is programming, why you should learn programming, and how you can start your programming journey. At the end, I also shared my 5 golden rules that can help you be a better programmer. Today in this video, we'll be looking at what is coding, how coding is implemented, what are the different programming languages, what are the most famous programming languages that are being used nowadays, what the big giants like Google, Apple, Amazon, Facebook are using, and what programming language we are going to use to start our programming journey, and why we are choosing that language. So stay in the video today, we'll be discussing all these points in brief. So hello Ravens, this is Gritesh, you're watching Spunky Quark. Let's roll in with the intro. So let's get started. What is coding? Coding is a way of implementing programming. In the previous video, we saw what is programming. If you haven't watched the previous video, I'll link the previous video in description and I'll also put it in the I button. Go and watch that video before watching this. So yeah, coding is a way of implementing programming. So now how we implement coding? Coding is implemented with the help of programming language. With this, we come to our next point, that what is the programming language? Programming languages are used to implement coding. Programming languages, there are multiple programming languages. Some famous programming languages are Java, C, C++, Python and JavaScript. It's getting too messy, right? Let me explain it with the real world example. Suppose I'm going to instruct you something, as we instruct the computer, right? Which is programming. So instructing is programming, right? But to instruct you, I need to instruct you with some medium. So what will be that medium? That medium will be talking. That medium will be conversation, communication, right? So coding is the medium for doing programming. The terms programming and coding are often used interchangeably. So you can relate programming as instructions that I am providing you in the same way we provide instruction to the computer, which is program. So programming means providing instructions, right? How can I provide instruction to you? By talking to you, by communicating to you, right? So that communication, that talking, that conversation is coding. That's the medium of giving the instruction. And to communicate with you, I need something, right? I need a language. I need, whether it be English, whether it be Hindi, whether it be Spanish, anything. In the same way, we need programming languages. So we have multiple programming languages to talk to the computer also, which are Java, Python, C, C++, JavaScript, which are the most famous ones. So programming is instruction, coding is communication or talking to provide that instruction. And programming languages are the language that we use to talk to the computer. So I think all these points are very clear to you now. Let's move to the next point. So what are the big giants like Google, Apple, Amazon, Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, the application you are watching this video on currently? What these companies are using as their programming languages? So these companies are mostly using the most famous programming languages that I told you. The Java, Python, C, C++, JavaScript, right? Apart from these, they are also using some more programming languages. According to the internet, there are more than 200 programming languages in this world. But we are going to focus on one first. So what is that programming language that we are going to use to start our programming journey? So the programming language that we are going to use is Java. Now the question is, among all these programming languages, these famous programming languages, why we choose Java? There are few points because of which we are using Java. The first point is, it is very easy to understand language. It's very simple, straightforward language. So it's a best language to start learning for beginners. The next point is, it uses OOPS concept. OOPS means object oriented programming. So what is object oriented programming? There are mainly two types of programming approaches. First is the procedural programming and the second is the object oriented programming. Procedural programming was being used earlier but nowadays object-oriented programming are used. So what is procedural programming? I'll just explain you in simple words. While we do some work, when we focus on how we are doing the work rather than getting the results, that's called procedural programming. We focus on the procedure rather than what we want to get, right? But in object-oriented programming, we focus on the results. We focus on how the work is done. We focus on what we are doing, what we are creating, what we have with us. We create the program in such a way that everything in the program can relate to the real world things, right? So that is object oriented programming. And the next and the very important point is Java is the most widely used language among all these famous 5 languages that I have told. That's why we are going to start our programming journey with Java. And not only these, we have many more features of Java because of which we are using Java to start our programming journey, right? We'll talk about the good things and bad things of Java in the next video. We'll talk what is Java, and we'll talk in detail what are the features of Java, how Java works, how we can implement Java on our system, how we can implement the Java code, how we can create the environment for implementing Java. One more point I would like to share with you, that before learning any programming language, you need to create one environment inside your local system, in your local machine, right? So that is just like a room in where you create your program and you run it. So without that environment, it's not possible to run your programs. So in the next video, we'll be looking at all these things. This is all for today's video, Ravens. I hope you understand whatever I wanted to explain you guys before starting with our journey. So these are some basic things that you should be knowing, right? And if you understood everything, that's well and good. If you didn't understood anything, write in the comment section below. I'll be replying to your comments as soon as possible. And if you haven't subscribed the channel yet, it's the golden opportunity. Go subscribe the channel and hit the bell icon so that you don't miss any future videos of our Java. And of course, share this video with your friends, form a community. As I told you earlier, learning in group is always better than learning alone. This is Gritesh rolling out for the next video. Till then, learn, code and reload.